Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another edition of Get Off the Damn Fence. That's right, we're back for another week talking all the latest in sports and entertainment. And I'm joined as I am each and every week, our co-hosts, Calvin Thomas, Justin B.A. the Barber Harris. Gentlemen, how y'all doing tonight?
Fine, mighty fine.
1 week closer to football, man. 1 week.
Yes, sir. Yes,
8 days.
sir.
8 days.
Yeah, we had a very
Chicago, whatever
eventful
it is.
last 7 days. One of which those days we did draft our NFL fantasy football team for our crew league that we've probably been doing since I think I I think it was 2005, 2000, yeah, because 2004 um, we were talking about it, but I think we were in the midst of school. So 2005, that second year at Morgan, I think that's when we started
It's been 20
basketball.
years?
Huh?
Okay.
Yeah,
It's like 20
yeah,
years?
we did. I think we did
Yeah.
basketball and football that first year, but we was online, and then we later morphed it into an in-person draft. So I think that might have been unofficially the 20th year. I think because we had two different leagues at one point, the crew league, and then we had that Elite Eight league that branched off from it. So in one way or another, we've been doing fantasy for 20 years together. So we're gonna talk about the results of that a little bit later.
It's crazy.
But yeah, that is wild. That is wild. But let's get right into it. We got a lot to get into. Starting off tonight with the latest news in the NFL, and there is some news. There was some, preseason is over. Final rosters are shaping up. Players were cut. People made the team. Trades were made. People were claimed off waivers. All types of hot headlines the last few days, and we're going to go through some of the big ones, and then I'm going to go to floor to y'all or some of the things that might have been a little bit off the radar. It might not mean as much to the larger audience, but if you're a true football fan, that some significant moves were made here that might be helping some of these teams or some of those free agents that are still out there looking for a home. And we'll talk about that as well. But I want to first start with the big news, and that was Terry McLaurin. Scary Terry got his deal. He was looking for an extension on the deal that he previously had. He felt like, I know Calvin, you threw out there, he was looking for 4 to 5 years. He was actually settled in at 3 year, $96 million extension, in line with what some of the reports the team was willing to give. Kind of, not huge money, but in online with what some of those top receivers were getting per year, as a DK Metcalf got from Pittsburgh, things of that nature. So, all being said, Jaden Daniels gets his number one receiver back in time for the season to start. Washington looks like they're ready, primed to repeat as the team of the NFC East that they were last year. Now that they handled their business, how did you like how all this went down? Did you think they handled this properly? Justin, I'll start with you tonight.
Well, I kept comparing him to someone that was close in his age, which is like a Mike Evans, and the type of deal that he need to look out for. He just the 4 to 5 years is just too long, and anybody that's having a business probably wouldn't go for that. So the fact that he settled on for the 3 year, nice. I mean, that's a hell of a contract. I mean, not going to act like he got some chump change. No, he got pretty much 33 some odd million. That's a lot. 32 some odd million. That's a lot of bread, and coming his way yearly. So I think that works out for both ends. Um, Clearly, Jayden Daniels is happy. Clearly, now you have Terry, Debo. Like that's a nice 1-2 punch coming off your rookie season. And he's just one of those guys that he probably will close to maybe retire a commander. So just to have that type of tenure with one team is great. So give him his money, great. 3 years, like I said, in 2 years, like I said last week, in 2 years you come back and then we renegotiate that last year, see what we can do with it because my performance hasn't dropped off. So that's
Mhm.
excuse me, that's what you're looking for in the situation. So shout out to Terry, shout out to the Commanders for actually getting this done.
I agree. Calvin?
If you listen, I've said this the last couple of weeks. I was all in line for a 3 year deal, giving $30 million annually, and this is kind of what they fell into. I just couldn't do 4 or 5 years. with him kind of overlapping and me still paying your contract for a 35-year-old receiver. I'm a little bit surprised by the guarantees. I think it was only like $50 million guaranteed, 44, 50. I think 50 was like with performances and workout bonuses, things like that. So I'm a little surprised by that. Because looking at other contracts with the guaranteed portion of the contract, but you get a marriage, you stay in DC, you have another wide receiver on the other end in Debo. You're adding to this offense, even though you traded Brian Robinson Jr. You got options at running back. You have your franchise quarterback. So it's a win-win situation. This was the best fit for Terry McLaurin this year. The Commanders were not going to get anybody of value this year for him, so they might as well just get it done, and they did. So, other teams need to take notes like the Cowboys, but it's neither here nor there. But for both parties, I think it's a win-win deal.
Again, it's negotiation, man. I don't like negotiations going down to the wire like this, but it's a negotiation. And in any negotiation, there's give and there's take. Both parties have to be at the end feel like, okay, we didn't get exactly what we wanted, but we gave up a little to get a lot. And I think in the end, both parties are better off with them coming to a conclusion with this in advance of the season. Give him time to get in there. He hasn't been practicing. He hasn't been getting his rhythm back. But I don't think it takes that long for a player of his stature to get back in rhythm with his young quarterback. I think they'll be fine. I think getting the deal done was of utmost importance. Next up, Trey Hendrickson. We heard about this deal. He's been looking for a contract extension. This was pretty surprising to me. I did not expect him to settle for a 1-year deal, basically playing almost like on a franchise tag. Essentially, they're giving him like $30 million for 1 year, and he's allowed to. I'm confused by this, quite frankly. Calvin, what was your thoughts when you heard about this?
He's being paid more in line to players of his caliber. I believe he got basically a $15 million raise, so now he's more aligned annually with what a TJ Watt and a Max.
But no long-term security.
So you have the right to franchise him now if you're Cincinnati, but I think he moves on into another team, to a more competitive team next year. But he gets his money annually, and he still gets to be above, I believe, top 5 in pass rushes. So it's a win-win situation. Missed all of camp, gets $30 million guaranteed with performance bonuses, playoff bonuses, things of that nature. But at least for this year, he's a top pass rusher. Next year, we'll see what happens all over again, because Cincinnati's notoriously to franchise their players just to keep him. But we'll see what happens. But at least for this year, he's paid like a top 5 pass rusher. And I think that's all he's concerned about at the stage of his career, making as most money as he can for 1 year.
Justin, what was your thoughts?
Like you said, it's a little different than I don't know what the franchise is right now. It's probably like 20-something million. So he's probably getting paid more than that. So he gets his money in a sense, right? So he's happy because of that. But of course, he's looking for more security than this. Like you said, because you brought a franchise, it's very similar to a franchise, bro. If you get hurt, your next year check ain't gonna be the same. So he is betting on himself that he can have a similar season, and hopefully he can take that to maybe another team, or maybe they just get long-term value with him and his team that he's on now. So it's a tough road. I'm not going to complain about a dude getting $30 million, but geez, like, yo, no slip up. You gotta make sure your laces, your shoes are tied. Any extra. If it's a blowout, bro, you might as well sit it down. Like you gotta play like that. Unfortunately, because you don't have that security. That's why players want security, because they don't want to limit themselves. They want to be able to play freely as they know how to play. That way, they know if they do get hurt, I'm cool. I ain't got to worry about looking over my shoulder. He does. So that's a very problematic. But hopefully, in his situation, hopefully Joe Burrow puts him in a situation where they up 2-3 touchdowns almost every game, so they ain't got to worry about it too much. But that's a big hope.
Good point. I was shocked by this. I thought he was either going to hold out for the big contract or just force a trade. You know what I mean? I thought, but maybe the value wasn't out there. Maybe the Bengals tested the market, weren't able to get anything in return. I'm not sure, but to me,
can't hold out, lose money though, especially at 31, 32 years of age. And
I get that, but a player on a 1-year deal at this rate, at the high level type of player and the high risk position he's at, those guys get injured all the time. We just seen TJ Watt miss time. Those guys miss time. You know what I mean? So to me, security was just as important as getting that guaranteed money for 1 year.
I'll say if the rumors are true, in which at sometime around the draft, Detroit off the number 1 pick for him, the price only went down from there, and now you got to pay him too. So I'm not surprised you couldn't get that much, or even get at least like a 2 or 3 at that point, and then you still got to pay him, and you're paying a 30-year-old pass rusher. I mean, team might just wait till next year, in my opinion, for this particular player. Now, if you're talking about somebody 25, 26, it's a little different story, in my opinion. So I'm not surprised that there was the trade market wasn't there right now. At least it was what it was rumored to have been around the draft. So just bad timing.
Yeah. And then finally today, we got some unexpected news, but just to me, this is the difference. Outside of that Lamar Jackson debacle a few years ago, and hopefully that's what taught the Ravens in Eric DeCosta, who succeeded Ozzie Newsome, still fairly young in his role. Maybe that was his eye opener. Handle your business behind closed doors. Don't let these things get out there to the media. There's a lot of speculation. We've seen what's going on in Dallas. We've seen what happened in Washington. We've seen what happened in Cincinnati. Don't let it get to that point, because the Ravens went out there today and signed Kyle Hamilton, who's now the highest paid safety in NFL history, 4 years, $100 million deal, good guaranteed money, quietly it kept. Wasn't a whole lot of headlines, wasn't no threats of holding out in camp. They just got the deal done, quietly said, we're working on Tyler Linderbaum, we're working on Lamar, we're going to lock up our big players, and we move on from there. I think this was well-deserved. This had to be done. He's worth every penny, and I'm glad they finished this deal and got a successful. Justin, as outsider observer of this, what's your thoughts on this move?
It made me sick to my damn stomach. I ain't gonna lie to you. I sat back and y'all gave me like $80 million guaranteed, which is like the highest at that point for a safety was like 25 or something like that. It wasn't significantly high, so they just went all out to secure top 3 safeties in the league by far, easy. And it's just like, I guess this is what it was. I was thinking about this earlier, and I was like, well, GM's probably pretty much got one of the hardest jobs you can think of, because you got to, everyone that you're talking to wants their max dollars that they can get, and they're going to overdo or oversay anything they can so they can get more money from the organization. But you have your contract, and this is the fire back. Like, you sign a contract. The problem lies is when you give people money and then they come back like a year or two later, like, I need more money than that. Like, well, wait a second. If you take what I give you, now I understand they can cut people. I understand. I'm not advocate for either side right this second. I'm just saying, when you have certain people in order, so they took care of Lamar, although they still trying to take care of Lamar. They took care of the people. Roquan got paid. The people that y'all needed to pay.
Derrick Henry.
Hey, Derrick. They gave Derrick Henry a nice chunk of change, and they said
Ronnie Stanley.
And didn't circle the wagon.
Bateman.
None of them circle the wagon saying, I need this, I need that. So what does that do? They finally have a stable cap, right? A stable cap, where as though now when one of their main stars come up, bro, we good. I got you. I'm gonna overdo it in the sense, if you want to say it that way. Yeah. And now, like, he's satisfied. It just gives you stability on the cap where you can make decisions like this, and that's a hell of an organization to do that. You have to have the players in line. I guess you guys, this is the Raven way, or so on and so forth. So this is what happens when you have that kind of stability, and a lot of organizations do not have that. They're so far from that. So this is just like being looked at amongst other people in the league, like, yo, that was okay. They treating that people right. All right. Oh, okay. All right. And it's just a good it's a good feeling when it comes to just the player side, and they understanding that people will take care of you if everyone stays in order throughout the whole entire team. That's a tough sell. People need that money. If people need their money, and so we all get that. But for that situation, for this to work out, he should be good. He should be good. He should have said another word for a while. Then you ain't got to worry about that. You can cross him out, move on to the next person. So Actually, great job by the Ravens organization.
Calvin.
Let me say this. Shout out EDC. Before I get into the Kyle Hamilton's contract, let's look at this draft class from 2021. I'm going to go to 2022. 21, you got Bateman, Oweh, Cleveland, Stevens, Tylan Wallace. Identically, you had 4 of those 5 were starters. Tylan Wallace was your punt returner, your 4th wide receiver. We just got rid of Stevens, but he was a starter for us last year. 2022, you had Hamilton, Linderbaum, Ajabo, Travis Jones, Falele, Charlie Kohler, Jordan Stout, Isaiah Likely. I just named probably like 8 starters in 2 back-to-back draft classes. Most of those players still on the team. I think everyone's still on the team except for Jalen Armour-Davis and Brandon Stevens.
And they didn't want to cut Armour-Davis.
They did, but they want to keep undrafted rookie. But when you sign players, sometimes you got to go a little bit cheaper. Sometimes so I'm not upset with it. And he gets picked up by I think
he got picked up.
One or two. But look at this is the draft. This is the talent that EDC has drafted, not signed, but drafted out of college and retained most of their talent to where they're getting their second contract. Now, I understand that Linderbaum and Oweh may be the odd 2 out. You can't re-sign everybody. I understand that. But with Hamilton, you signed the best safety in the league. It's an easy negotiation. Who's highest paid safety in the league? I deserve to make more than him. Okay. That's not that difficult. And you guarantee him $80 million. Everyone's kind of like, that's a lot of money. He was already making $25 million guarantee this year. So you're just adding that into that 80. So you're adding another 55. So this is how you play smart math with the cap. You re-sign your guys, you keep your talent, and you continue to build. And you always have this ace in your hole, at least right now. If you really want to make cap space, you get Lamar to resign. You offer him so much money that he can't say no.
Yeah.
So I'm happy that this is over. This has been something that's been talked about all summer between Hamilton and Linderbaum. Ideally, Linderbaum's probably priced himself out of Baltimore, which not too.
I ain't mad at it. I ain't mad at it.
I got the best safety in the game. I got the best outside linebacker, however you want to play it, the most versatile safety in the game that we've seen make play after play, year after year. And he was drafted. He wasn't drafted first or second.
No,
he was drafted 14th. There were 13 teams that passed on him, and now they got to just look at what they missed out on. So shout out to Hamilton, shout out to EDC for getting this done before the year starts. Look, they are checking all the boxes during the summer. Can this turn over to the fall? Can it continue to the fall? But you're checking all the boxes during the summer. You re-sign Henry like we talked about.
Hey man, we're going to do the season outlook. Calm down. We just talking about Hamilton right now.
I'm just look. You re-sign the best safety in the game. You get him at a price that works for both of you, and you make everyone know that he's the best safety in the game if they didn't already know. So
we'll see. He's got to stay healthy, though. Got to stay healthy. That's been the issue. And then finally, today we learned that look, it's been talked about the suspension. When would it happen to Rashee Rice? It was talked about that would be delayed till later, but no, he got 6 games right off the rip today, and he accepted it. He didn't try to challenge it, so he will miss the first 6 games of this season, including 1 game against the Ravens. So that's interesting to the schedule. What was your thoughts when you heard this one, Calvin?
I wonder what changed from last week to this week. Because originally he wasn't going to be suspended or wasn't going to hear about what's going to happen until week 4. So either they told him to get it out the way because there hasn't been any talk about him.
He's not appealing. He accepted it.
So he's going to accept the 6 games. So is it better to miss the first 6 games? Is it better to miss 6 games during the middle of the season? Apparently, him and the Chiefs kind of said, let's get this over with and move on, and that's what happened.
Justin?
Yeah, so I mean, I agree. It was just good to just get it out the way. They was looking at 4 to 6 the whole time. The NFL wanted like 8 to 10 off top, but the Players Association it was saying like that's unprecedented. We don't necessarily do it like that. So the max that you can probably do is 6. So they took the max and they agreed on. Kansas City agreed on it and just treat it like an injury. Like you just had an off-season injury and it lingered into the season. The PUP list and all those things. Just treat it like that and keep it moving. Hopefully they can get into some type of rhythm and not necessarily have to worry about missing him because he's not going to be there. So get it out the way. He's going to be healthy by the time week 7, week 8 come around, and hopefully hit the ground running. So it's out the way. It's done. it's over with, and they can just move on for it. And I guess as a franchise, as a football team, that's all you want. Get some understanding, clarification, and let's move on.
I agree. At the end of the day, I'd rather not interrupt my season and actually add firepower later. You know what I mean? Something that that can help you for a playoff push. I think is look, take the suspension, don't appeal it, don't drag this thing out, go away, take your medicine, and come back stronger later. I think it's a wise move on behalf of the Chiefs. All right, let's get on with our season preview. This is our final week, preseason. We've gone through every NFL team, and we have 3 teams remaining, and those teams represent all of us and our favorite teams in the NFL. Tonight, we start with the worst team, of course, of the 3, who we really should have been talking about weeks ago. But because one of our panelists is a fan of a bum team, we had to wait until now. But here they are, the Dallas Cowboys. Calvin,
first of
tell
all,
us about
that is disrespectful.
the Dallas
We are
Cowboys.
better than Tampa Bay. That is disrespectful.
No,
we have
Tampa
a better
Bay actually
city.
won their division.
They won a weak division.
They won.
It doesn't matter. Atlanta shouldn't have won. But whatever. They didn't
They
play us
didn't.
head to head.
Did this team go to the playoffs? I'm confused.
Yeah.
Did y'all win a playoff game?
That's neither here nor there. We're just talking about simple things here.
How many rings y'all got? Less than 3?
Oh God.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure.
Understood. Shout out to
Calvin.
y'all was just on TV, right? Y'all was just on. I saw y'all on
We got
Netflix.
a Netflix special.
But it wasn't nobody on that current team on that joint.
It don't matter. It's Hall of Famers. It's gold jackets. It's players that built the league.
That's not.
How old were you when that happened?
What about
They
this?
don't go
What about
to
today?
Tampa. They go to
What about today?
Dallas.
You can talk about that when we do the Mount Rushmore. Tell us about.
Hold up.
Tell us about the current Cowboy
Who is
team.
called America's team?
The Patriots.
The Patriots.
Who is truly called America's team? What stadium has a cutout so God can watch us play every
Oh God. Well, God don't be smiling on y'all often no more. I don't know what happened with God and y'all. But
let's talk about America's team. I'm almost done with them, matter of fact. Starting quarterback, of course, is Dak Prescott. Biggest offseason loss right now is DeMarcus Lawrence, because right now, without him and Micah Parsons, you have no one to get after the quarterback. You have no one on that defensive line. You have no one on defense, period, especially with Trayvon Diggs coming off his season-ending knee injury as of last year. Thank you, Kenya. I appreciate this when I'm talking about my Cowboys. I appreciate the support. Best offseason addition, in my opinion, was Tyler Booker. They drafted him out of Alabama. They had to beef up their offensive line to protect Dak. They had to beef up the offensive line to better run the ball. They were one-dimensional last year. All year long, Dak took a beating again, so they had to beef up their offensive line. They had one of the best offensive lines in the early part of the 2010s. They've all either retired, been injured, or just got old. So you got to rebuild the offensive line. It starts up front, protecting Dak, getting that run game going again. So I just need to know how this offensive line progresses. Last year was terrible. They signed a 40-year-old Philadelphia Eagle. I'm blanking on the left tackle's name right now. They signed a 40-year-old left tackle. Jason Peters, yes. They signed him to protect Dak's blind side. He was his left tackle for 6 or 7 games last year. They signed him off the street. That's how bad this offensive line was. They could not run the ball consistently. They had to get younger and more athletic on the offensive line. It started with Tyler Booker. They also signed someone, but he's on IR, so we're not even going to go into that. But they got younger. They got more athletic on the offensive line. So I'm hoping to see them starting to gel, especially week 1. You go against a tough Philadelphia team with arguably Pro Bowlers on every position except quarterback. Will there be a resolution to this Micah Parsons saga? We saw Trey Henderson got paid. We saw Terry McLaurin got paid. So when is it Micah's turn? This leads you to believe that it's about more than money. Supposedly this was this leak in which Jerry says he's going to guarantee him $140 million. Haven't seen anyone credible report it, so I don't believe it to be true. But it seems to be more than money. And when Jerry comes out with threats saying, "I'm going to franchise you next 2 years. You're going to be here at least 3 years," those are words that make it seem as though it's starting to get personal. Micah has been in training camp. He's been in practice, but will he play next Thursday? Will he start to practice when they implement the game plan next week? That's what we need to know. Schottenheimer is hoping that he does practice. He thinks he's professional about it, but there's nothing professional about me not getting my money, me not getting paid, especially when you're a player of the caliber of Micah Parsons and you're one of the top 3 pass players at your position and you don't get paid and you feel disrespected. And we know Jerry's notoriously late with paying players, waiting to the last minute. We saw it last year with Dak. We saw it 2 years ago with CD. We saw it a couple years ago with Diggs as well. We wait to the last minute and you pay the most money, and then all of a sudden you cannot fill out your roster. That's the story of Dallas Cowboys for the last 10 years. Like I said, that general manager position is the safest job in America because you can go 30 years without doing shit and you will still have your job. I'm sorry, without doing anything, you still have your job the next day.
It's all right, buddy.
Job in
You're
America.
passionate. You're passionate. All right, so what's your season outlook? Where'd he go?
Ideally, they're fighting for that last wild card spot. I think they're the third best team in their division behind Philadelphia and Washington. It pains me to say that Washington is better than them. I can see 2 teams in that division making the playoffs. I can see 2 teams from the North making the playoffs. I can see a Tampa Bay or Atlanta making the playoffs. I can see a Rams making the playoffs in the West. I think they're fighting for that wild card spot. I don't think they compete in the division. They're going to show you next week about where they actually fit in. Philadelphia is going to probably kick their ass next week in Philadelphia on ring night. I'd see that happening. If you ask me, if you're lucky, you get to 9 wins, maybe 10. Maybe that gets you the 7th seed in the playoffs. But with a one-dimensional offense, maybe Javonte Williams gives you a little bit more. But I said this last week, this is just Cincinnati West. This is the team that's going to be able to put up a ton of points on offense, have 2 great receivers, maybe a 5,000-yard passer, but they won't be able to stop anybody either. And when you play against a Philadelphia has a great offense, a Washington has a great offense, a Green Bay that has a great offense, a Detroit that has a great offense, you can't just give up points constantly and put your offense in position where they have to score touchdowns and not field goals. I think the max for this season is 9-10 wins. If you get lucky, if you stay healthy, maybe you sneak into the 7th seed, but I don't see how this defense comes to play and stops any decent team, throughout the season. So at best, 7th seed, make the playoffs, but you probably go home in round 1.
What you think, Justin, about the Cowboys?
It was amazing the energy in the beginning of the segment, and within one segment that he created, just all the air, all the wind out the sails. I mean, just where's the love, Kenya? Where you at? I don't see you no more. You left.
She quiet as a church mouse over there. She might have went to sleep.
Alrighty then. So, it's a lot when you say Cincinnati of the West. CD is not Jamar Chase. Let's get that straight. He's not even on the class of Jamar Chase. He's on a different level. So
y'all know what receivers are in Tampa Bay? Y'all got old Mike Evans.
We actually had one of the greatest ones ever. So we good over here.
I mean, 88 is not a number; it's a lifestyle in Dallas.
That lifestyle.
We just name Hall of Famers with 88. You are only if you wear 88.
We can talk about that when it comes to Rush Monk. We talking about now. Go ahead, Justin.
They are going to be in a struggle this year, clearly, and hopefully they make it through the division. I believe that they are waiting for people to fall off. I think they're waiting for. I think your backup quarterback could be arguably better than your starting quarterback right now.
Who's the backup quarterback?
The boy Milton or Monroe, one of them. He's a great prospect. You don't think that
he's better than Baker. He's better than Baker. I'll give you that.
Old boy Jerry.
I'll give you that.
He's not a top 5 quarterback.
Wait till you see this guy slide.
So with that being said, hopefully y'all get through the division. It's gonna be a tough outing this year. Lots of ups, but mostly downs. Michael Paulson should just get out of there, just leave. I think he sees a sinking ship when he sees one, and he said, "I'm up out of here." Hey, if you want to come over to Tedman, we can make room for you. We can slide you in on the defensive line somewhere. We can do that.
Don't go backwards, Micah.
Understood, but Micah said Tampa is on his list, so let's keep that in mind. So
Jacksonville was on his list too. I think Jacksonville got bright future.
The question is, will this be your last year rooting for this team? You didn't answer that when you was going through this little segment, but you put it right there.
You wrote it.
I would like to see that. Are you done after this year? Once they disappoint you like they do every other year since the 90s?
We'll be different this year than the rest of the years.
That was a question.
All right, he's quiet.
All righty then.
All right. Well, I just think, honestly, they have talent. offense, so we know that. I just think they lack in the trenches, man. It is what it is, and this will be a theme with me. I just don't know what the offensive line represents, and as good as they have skill players on offense, if you can't block for Dak, you're gonna be in trouble. I want to see what this rookie, what these rookie class does. I want to see what these offseason moves that Jerry did, if they pay off dividends. You got to show me, because I haven't seen it. And now with the lack of a Micah Parsons, not that he hasn't missed time in the past, but you also lost DeMarcus Lawrence. So now you're taking two of your best pass rushers out of the lineup. What's this D-line going to be like? What is this pass rush going to be like? We know that back end is susceptible. We've seen that on multiple occasions, them getting beat. You know, DeVon Bland might have 6 interceptions, 4 interceptions, 3 interceptions, and then get smoked all the rest of his plays. And like, we just don't know what you're going to get with the Cowboys. And I think that's just the definition of their whole identity since the 90s. So good luck to you, Calvin. I root for your success as a man because I like you as a person. But your team is always going to disappoint you. It just is what it is. I know your father's probably watching too. He's a Cowboys fan. Yeah. Hey, sorry, pal. I love you too. But you know, y'all suck. I mean, it is what it is, man. It's not nothing new. Y'all not Cowboys fans because y'all winners. That's the thing about, I think you got to realize about Cowboys fans. Y'all are Cowboys fans because you won. You know what I mean? Like you had.
First of all,
you had
back in my day,
holding on to them. That's good. So you'll always be a fan. You'll never
look. The sun will shine once again.
Yeah, okay. You sound like Orioles fans now.
But when it shines so much on you for so long, it's hard. Sometimes you gotta go through these times to get back to the mountaintop. It's been a slow crawl for 30 years.
Very slow.
But that's all I got.
Yeah, that's it.
Go to your Mount Rushmore.
Now talk about your Mount Rushmore. Now you can talk about the glory years. Now you can tell us about why this franchise is so great. Now name the best 4 Dallas Cowboys in the history of the franchise. Tell us who they are.
Week 1 through 9 is my week. This is actually pretty hard because I gotta give not that is to anyone recent, because I think there hasn't been a player in the last 30 years, 25 years that belongs on this list. I'm gonna start off with Roger Staubach. I gotta give it to Captain America, the first great quarterback with the stars. I go with Roger Staubach 1. I go with Troy Aikman 2. It's part of the triplets. Gave you that 3-peat, or gave you 3 out of 4, 3 and 4 years. They own the 90s. So so I'm gonna give you Troy Aikman as well. I gotta go Emmitt Smith, all-time leading rusher, one of the arguably the top running back in NFL history. The 4th one was hard. I thought about Larry Allen. I wanted to go give a guard. And then I thought, what is the Cowboys about? They're about offense. It's quarterbacks and it's running backs. So I'm gonna go with Tony Dorsett 4. And those are my 4. I left off every 88 on that list. I went with the best 2 quarterbacks and the best 2 running backs in franchise history.
Damn. Oh, that's not my list. Justin, who you got?
The triplets and Dorsett. Make it easy for yourself. How do you, Mike Irvin, yo? The reason why people even remember the 90s is because of Michael Irvin. We still see him on TV. He does
living off of
just
it,
like you try to do.
Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
And the reason why this generation knows of that is because of Mike Irvin. That's crazy. It's your list, brother.
Look, first of all, I'd argue at this point, Mike Irvin ain't the best 88. I can argue that point. You can make an argument for Drew Pearson. You can make an argument for CD, at least where he's projected to go. They were great in the 90s. They had a ton of talent, but I'm just saying the running back position in Dallas is arguably like no other franchise. When you can say Tony Dorsett, when you can say Emmitt Smith, when you can even say who was traded. I'm blank. You can say Ezekiel Elliott. You can say traded to Minnesota. Why am I blanking on his name?
Herschel Walker.
Herschel Walker that led to the triplets. it's just so much offensive talent. So, just my opinion.
Well, I agree with your list, Justin.
So
I
we disagree on one. Okay.
I mean, I could have went with Roger Staubach. Don't get me wrong, but I just think Tony Dorsett, he just was that impactful, and you can't not have Troy, Emmett,
who had
Mike.
who had the better just Cowboy career? Tony Dorsett, Herschel Walker.
I think it's about it's who's more beloved. That's what Mount Rushmore is.
It's about Mount Rushmore, the face.
Oh, no, I'm not asking a separate question. I know I'm not talking about Mount Rushmore. I'm just talking about who had the better. Because I argue Herschel Walker is more beloved because he led to the triplets. That's how you got Troy Aikman and Emmitt Smith. Everyone talks about that trade in '89 or '88. So
I think that's looking at it from a different angle. We're just talking about on the field. And
going Dorsett.
How can you not have? We did have Dorsett.
You left off Staubach.
I did, because I'm going to go with the team that I know was the reason y'all still talking all this trash. It's not like you talking how you talk because of Roger Staubach. You talking like you talk because of Troy, Emmett, and goddamn Mike Irvin.
I'm talking about Darren Woodson.
Okay,
Marcus
but he ain't
Ware,
going on
Larry
your Mount
Allen,
Rushmore.
Daryl Johnston.
He could have.
I'm just shoot. I could look.
Charles Haley.
I thought about putting Jimmy on there.
He could put Jimmy on there.
I thought about putting Jimmy on there.
Jimmy got fired, and they still won. So the players were still there. So I give the players more credit.
The players were still there. You're right.
That's my point. So that's why they go on the Mount Rushmore. Like they ain't won nothing since. And you can talk about Mike Irvin all you want. Mike got 3 of them things. Like I don't care whatever 88 you talking about. Mike got 3 of them things. So there we go. And Mike made the big catches.
That ball against Green Bay.
Hey, that's one time. You know what I mean?
It was a catch. So what's the point?
It wasn't.
It was a catch.
Anyway, interesting. Let's move on to Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Justin, tell us about the most pathetic, blasphemous line I've ever seen written. Baker top 5 Mayfield. Stop it. Just stop.
Woo! I mean, in all regards, he was a top 5 quarterback last year. He's just a great. I wanted to put Shake and Bake, but I was like, you know what? He's better. He's evolved from Shake and Bake. He's now Baker top 5 Mayfield. You know what? I'm gonna coin that, and I'm gonna go ahead and talk to some people down in Tampa Bay so they can go ahead on and run with that.
They don't know who you are.
Biggest offseason loss. We really didn't lose anybody in the offseason. I ain't gonna lie to you. It was no big guy that we lost. But I just put Shiloh on that just to get Shiloh some love, man. Shout out Shiloh. So hope you bounce back somewhere, my guy. Don't get into fights. Best offseason addition, we picked up Emeka and Buka, and then Son Reddick. Those 2 signings, I think, solidified a lot of things that I had going into a lot of issues that I had going towards the offseason, especially for Tampa Bay. We knew that Chris Godwin was hurt because people from the Ravens play dirty from time to time. So we knew that he was hurt. So as a result, we needed to match that firepower. And Jalen McMillan was our 3rd guy, and he was supposed to step up, but and he got hurt in the preseason. So it's all on Emeka, and he is Chris Godwin 2.0. He's a little bit slower than a Steve Smith. That's the type of mold that I see him as. Quick hitch routes, slants, things like that. Take the ball, make a quick move, and go. And he's going to show his worth this year. So that was a great addition, drafting him. And Hassan Reddick, I was worried about his temperament. I knew that the Jets and all that he didn't necessarily play for them. He played a little bit, was disheartened, and he's a good player. But so far in the preseason, you hear the right things. He's showing up. He's active. He's doing all those things he's supposed to do, and he got his money. So that is very important when you sign a free agent like that. And he just fits this this defensive line in which, like I said before, and I joked about it. We have the ability to get to the quarterback, and for people that's other than Kirk Cousins, fast quarterbacks destroyed us. Jalen Daniels destroyed us. Lamar Jackson laughed at us as he ran around our defensive line. So we needed, besides Kirk Cousins, we needed players. We needed somebody else to solidify the other side so that when somebody decides to run the one way, they don't necessarily they have somebody to meet them on the opposite end. And hopefully Hassan Reddick does that. So that leads into defensive cohesion. They just gotta be all on one page. And if it starts with the upfront, Vita Vea and them boys, and they can continue to do what I think they can do with Yaya Diaby and them boys, they should be just fine. And shout out to Levante David. He got one more year. This might be his last year. So we're going to do some things for him. So, hopefully I think everything comes together with Hassan Reddick. So that's what that is, defensive cohesion. Baker, you can't be top 5 if you keep having the second quarter mishaps that you do. My brother, let's not do that this year. Let's have solid games for first, second, third, and the fourth quarter, and we're going to see ourselves win the majority of those games. And that's what it's about. Bucky Irvin, just take the next step as your second year superstardom begins. He came on the ground, hit the ground running, took a Rashad White spot. That's gone. And just keep doing what you're doing. And most importantly, this is the year that Mike Evans breaks Jerry Rice's 1,000-yard record. It's straight consecutive. He's going for 13 straight years of 1,000 yards. And that's in Tampa. That is very big for Mike Evans. That is very big. Just to say that he has his own spot in wide receiver greatness, and it's all on him. So he gets that. Tampa Bay is very happy, and we tend to take care of our own, and he's one of our own. So I hope that he gets it.
Calvin, your thoughts?
It's a whole lot of blasphemy going on, but I don't even think Baker Mayfield.
All we're gonna do is win the division.
How you top 5 when there's 5 quarterbacks in the AFC better than you? But I digress. Playing in a weak division really, really, really helps this Bucs team. They sweep the division, then they'll lose 4 or 5, 6 games to teams that are better than them this year, and then they'll give one to Atlanta. They'll probably make the playoffs again this year. They'll probably lose in the first round yet again, but it's a stay of the team at this point. It's just kind of rinse and repeat, same thing. Best thing that happened to y'all was Tom Brady, and that was 2 years ago. But we'll see this team in the playoffs, in my opinion.
That was Super Bowl, I just want you to say okay. Tom Brady got the Super Bowl.
That's fine. I'll say that.
Recent memory. Recent memory. You don't have that memory of winning a Super Bowl recently. That's all I'm saying.
I have rings on both. I had enough for both my hands. When you just stop counting at 2. I stopped counting at 2 40 years ago.
I'm okay with that.
I'm counting to 6
I'm okay with that.
I'm counting to 6 now. So okay.
All right. All right. I think go ahead. You done?
I'm done. Go ahead.
Yeah. This Tampa team, again, like you say, they do benefit from being in a division. They're still not completely where they should be. I think New Orleans, as we talked about when we previewed them, have a lot to be desired. Carolina, a lot to be desired. In Atlanta, we just got a lot of questions. And we'll see what happens with that Atlanta team. But again, if they handle their business, they should be right back in the playoffs. And it's not that Tampa doesn't have the offensive firepower. I like the weapons they represent. I think they're going to be pretty good. Offensively, defensively, they still have some pieces. I do have questions. But like you say, you touched on all of those points, which was good by you, good analysis. And we'll continue to watch it. We'll see. I think this team is one of those teams where they can get you on the right day. And they can get you. You know what I mean? But then do they have the fortitude to really take on the big boys? I think that will be developed throughout the season. We'll have to watch that. But again, continuity is a good thing. Second year, I don't really trust your coach. He's not the most exciting guy. Doesn't really jump off the page.
Yeah, I didn't bring up Todd Bowles in that whole thing.
No, you didn't.
That was for a reason.
Decision making isn't always great. And then, like you say, you said this man's top 5, but then you, in the very same slide, say he need to avoid these second quarter mishaps. Agreed. He had some boneheaded turnovers at times, and it really limits what this team can do. When you have to come out of a hole, all the time, how can your running back really get any rhythm when you have to pass the ball so much? So that has to change. They need to really look at the style of offense they want to run and be more pragmatic about how they deliver the football to the running back and get him involved. If you want Bucky Irvin to take the next step, you can't be behind. You can't put yourself in a hole with these turnovers. Really have to look at that. if I'm the offensive coordinator. We'll see. We'll see. All right, tell us about who you have on the Mount Rushmore for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Just going through the years. Shout out to the creamsicle jerseys, Leroy Selman, Jimmy Giles, and the crew. I'm gonna give them their love. I can't fit everybody from that classic Bucks 2002 team on this particular Rushmore. But shout out to John Lynch and Rondé Barber. Honorable mentions for them as well. Shout out to just the players that we have.
Goddamn, who's your four?
All right. Okay, you're right. Let me wrap this up. Derek Brooks, Warren Sapp, Levante David, Mike Evans. Those are four.
Levante David made your four all time?
Yes, that's why it's look.
The threshold is low.
That's why I said on the last slide on Calvin's thing. It's who's beloved within that particular area. Levante is considered up there with those guys. He's up there with the Derek Brooks of the world and things like that in Tampa. It's Levante's on one side, Mike Evans on the other side. Like I said, I could have put John Lynch there. I could have put Rondé Barber. Rondé Barber could clearly be right there.
Simeon Rice?
Simeon Rice, no doubt. But we only had him for a couple years. Most of those guys depended on Warren Sapp and Derek Brooks. They were the catalyst of that team. Everyone else fed off of them, to be honest. So I'm going to give them to their credit. Levante has been through the god-awful days of Tampa Bay, and he managed to see himself through the championship light. So I'm going to give Levante love because he could have been checked out and said, the hell with us. He stayed around long enough. Shout out to Levante.
I'm trying to stay good in the Tampa Bay group chat or something. Like, what the hell?
Oh.
Recency bias. All right, give me your four again.
Warren Sapp, Derek Brooks, Levante David, Mike Evans.
Well, I'm going Warren Sapp, Derek Brooks. I think those two are locks. You had to have those two. But I Mike Evans, yes, I think he's the greatest receiver, and it ain't like he putting Keyshawn on there or something like that. So it's not much, not really a stretch to put him on there. But for me, if you're gonna say Mount Rushmore of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I'm putting Tom Brady on there. I mean, the man saved y'all. He saved y'all.
That's your four?
That's my four.
So you said Derek Brooks, Warren Sapp. Oh, you said Mike Evans.
Mike Evans and Tom Brady.
I got the same four.
We only had Tom for like 3 years.
I got
the same four. It don't matter. He made y'all super relevant.
Legitimate.
I'm not knocking that. So would you put
trash for
would you put Kawhi Leonard on Toronto?
Y'all had Jameis throwing 30 for 30. Trash.
Yes.
Derek Brooks, Warren Sapp, Mike Evans, Tom Brady.
If I would have got at least 5 years out of Tom Brady, then maybe.
He got me a Super Bowl the first year.
Shout out to him.
He went to Green
twice.
Bay. He went to New Orleans, who y'all couldn't beat, and then beat Kansas City. After he lost to Kansas City early.
A lot of that was defensive led. And we beat Kansas City by somebody. Somebody had to guard Travis Kelce 1-on-1.
Who was the MVP?
That was Levante David.
Who was MVP?
It was Tom Brady.
I'm not doubting none of that.
Y'all not gonna get me hating on Tom Brady. That's not happening. I hear y'all. I appreciate what y'all saying.
That's how your team is remembered. Also ran.
Y'all should say Tom Brady.
Off the street came and made y'all Mount Rushmore.
He took us to the promised land.
Tom Brady made Mike Evans Hall of Famer.
Oh, easy.
1,000 yards every year made him a Hall of Famer.
He was getting 1,000 yards, winning 7 games.
Yeah.
Okay, so he won 8, 9, 10 games.
He made him a champion.
He made him a Hall of Famer. He made what's the other receiver that got hurt? He made him legitimate. He brought Gronk back.
This guy was already a made man.
He made Levante David. He made that defense. He made y'all legitimate for the 2020s. That goes on Tom Brady. Every ounce of success that you have from here on out, attribute to Tom Brady.
Come from a New England Patriot. That's what your franchise is minimized.
Whatever he was, came in and won a Super Bowl. That's how downtrodden this franchise was.
He pulled y'all. He got off the couch. It came made y'all Mount
and
Rushmore.
galvanized us to a Super Bowl amidst a worldwide pandemic in which all hope was lost, and it took the numbers 1-2 from like you said, from New England to take us to the promised land. I will always support Tom. This is not hate that y'all giving me. I appreciate every word that y'all said.
Nobody should ever
This
wear
is
number
not
12
working
in
the way
Tampa
y'all
Bay
think this is
ever
working.
again. He needs to have his
Understood.
number retired in Tampa Bay.
You are
In the
not
whole
happy
division.
right now.
Retire in New Orleans, Carolina, and Atlanta too.
not
The
yelling
whole
at each
division.
Oh man, that's pathetic. You let some guy come from New England after he had already won like 6 Super Bowls or something like that. Come down there and make y'all relevant. Hey man, hey, congratulations, Tom Brady. You made the Mount Rushmore of an expansion team in Tampa, where people go to die. Don't nobody go to Tampa Bay to live. That's a retirement home city. You know what I mean? Like, good for them. Good for them. Tom, you will fit right in down there. Anyway, let's move on. Baltimore Ravens. Look, man, I'm being honest with you. My outlook on this team is not like any other year. Not that they're not great. Not that they don't have talent at every level. This is Super Bowl or bust. I've never said those words. Every year, even last year, if y'all recall, I picked the Cleveland Browns to win the division. I did not pick the Ravens to win the division because I saw issues with this team. I said they had deficiencies. I didn't think they were built for the. But this year, there's no Brandon Stevens. There's no Patrick Queen. There's no short end of the stick guy I can point to and say that's why we're going to suck. No, they paid Ronnie Stanley. He better perform. No, they have Cleveland. They have different talent now. The offensive line still has some pieces missing, but Lamar and Derrick Henry, I've seen it. Last year, we didn't know how they were going to gel. We have a year of evidence that shows us what this team is capable of doing if the coaching is there. I don't want to hear no excuses. So this year for me, I'm not hedging. I'm not dipping my toe. I'm not straddling the fence. The Ravens must host the Lombardi Trophy, hoist the trophy in the air at the end of the season, or this season is a complete failure. I can't put it no other way. There's no giving no excuses. If they do not win a title, John Harbaugh will no longer be the head coach of the Baltimore Ravens. I'm putting my flag in the ground and saying it right now. This is a make or break season. They are loaded at every level. They just re-signed Kyle Hamilton. They took care of Bateman. They made sure Derrick Henry got an extension on his contract. They've made the moves. Eric DeCosta has done his job. You can say whatever you want. Oh, they took care of the fullback. And you know how I love my fullbacks. You go out and you get a Keaton Mitchell back off injury. And you still got Justice Hill. They had 3 running backs which is phenomenal. You go out and get a DeAndre Hopkins in the offseason. Wasn't a big splash move, but that is a good, solid, very good veteran who once was a great receiver that can help a Zay Flowers who's coming into the season healthy. Bateman's got his contract. You go out and get a Jair Alexander, who's one of the perennial corners in the league. Yes, he has some injury issues, but you also have some very good help with Nate Wiggins. You went and got Awuzie. You have depth in areas where you were lacking. The cornerback position loaded. Their safeties loaded. Linebacker Trenton Simpson should take the next step in year 2. I don't want to hear any excuses. I don't want to hear anybody saying, well, we don't have it. Lamar Jackson is the quarterback of the Baltimore Ravens. And if he was supposed to win the MVP, if y'all want to cry about that, I don't care about MVP. I care about Super Bowl MVP. And if Lamar handles his business, Mark Andrews secures the football, and this team stays healthy, there's no excuse for this team not to go all the way and win the Super Bowl this year. This is it. If you're a Ravens fan, you better believe every word that I just said, and you better feel the same way because you deserve better. You deserve greatness. It's not enough to say you got all this talent and not have anything to show for it. I'm sorry. EDC has done his job. The players have to do their job. The coaches have to do their. That's it. I'm done with it. Calvin, your thoughts?
Do you care about the regular season? You care about the record this regular season?
No.
Okay.
No. They had to have a great record. Yes, I do. They need to be good from the start to the finish, because if you don't have a great record, that's why you're on the road in Buffalo in January instead of being at home hosting Kansas City and Buffalo and these other teams, Cincinnati's. You need to have home field advantage because you're the best team with the most talent, and you need to handle your business. You can't be dropping no games to no sorry teams. You can't be losing to Cleveland. You can't be losing to these sorry low-level teams because we're playing down to the level of competition. Win football games, period. Go ahead.
I think this team is better at well, just as good as in every position that they were last year. No matter what, offensive line, running back, receiver, no matter what, across the board. I agree with you. It's time. It's Super Bowl or bust at this point. You've been close. You've hosted AFC Championship games. You made it to the playoffs. You won the division the last couple of years. You've played a tough schedule. You played the Buffaloes and the Kansas Cities every year for the last couple of years, and you seem to be the only teams you have problems with. It's Super Bowl or bust at this point. We run out of excuses. We've had injuries. You had not had home field advantage. You played in the snow. You played in the cold. You didn't have all your receivers, whatever the case may be. It's Super Bowl or bust throughout the season, throughout every game, and it's key. It's paramount to beat the great teams, to beat Buffalo week 1, to beat Kansas City in week 4, to be competitive, to win the division outright. I don't care if you give a 40 points to Cincinnati. If you beat Cincinnati, I'm happy because they're a good team offensively. It's paramount to win games, to win the division, to host playoff games in January and February, where it's going to be cold, but the bank at night or in a playoff game, there is no better atmosphere than M&T Bank primetime game on the playoffs. It's nothing else to be said. If you want to blame, though, to have a rookie kicker, they're not better kicking. Hey, Justin Tucker hadn't been good the last 2 years. He had his own personal issues going on. That wasn't Justin Tucker from the last 5-6 years ago, where he was automatic, where it was auto Tucker, and where it was all that stuff. It was my kicker. It was my kicker. It was all that stuff. That's not the same guy from the last couple of years. He was doing some other stuff, so that might have played a part. Don't really know, but he's no longer here. Can't really go into it. But this team is better in every facet of the game. It starts in about 10 days in Buffalo. They've got to win. I expect them to have the best regular season record. I expect them to compete every game. I expect them to win every quarter. I expect them to play complete games. I don't expect any when you lose to a Cleveland in Cleveland when they're on that third string quarterback. I don't expect any of that. It's nothing more to say, but it's time to get to a Super Bowl. It's time to go to San Francisco this year. It's time to go to San Francisco in February. That's it. There's nothing really much more to add.
100%. Justin?
Y'all gonna lose by a field goal kicker. I feel like that's gonna happen. I got y'all being like the Buffalo Bills. I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. I really think that y'all overdoing, overvaluing, overlooking this rookie kicker that y'all have. I know Justin Tucker was once a rookie kicker. I get all those things, but to y'all are going to the Super Bowl and you are hoping and praying that the next kicker you have is pretty much a Hall of Famer, and we don't know.
Super Bowl with a rookie kicker.
I was going to say that. Didn't Justin Tucker win the Super Bowl as a rookie
kicker? Might be a omen, baby.
How many Justin Tuckers do you have in the league? It's not
we only
many.
Need one.
Look, kicking in Baltimore is similar to quarterbacking in Green Bay or Indianapolis. You just go from one Hall of Fame to the next without even batting an eye. That's all I'm saying.
Hey, y'all have no other choice but to believe that, because y'all putting a lot of emphasis that this team with Lamar Jackson, MVP, should be MVP 3, all those things can go as far as y'all can go, and y'all let a rookie decide y'all fate. That's tough, bro. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. So
rookie won't decide our fate. If we don't score touchdowns, that's on us. We deserve to lose if we don't put points on the board. It shouldn't come down to a kick, but I get what you're saying. I get the point.
I think that's your Achilles heel. That's the Death Star, the only shot to hit the Death Star. Like that's it for y'all. Like y'all all stack pause offensively. Y'all all stack defensively. There shouldn't be a reason. But if y'all go through some issues, there's some ill-conceived turnover, something like that, it's gonna be on him. It's gonna be on him to win that game for y'all. And I hope that's the case. But it probably won't be. Y'all probably find another way to lose.
Yeah, losing. But Mount Rushmore. Look, I think it's pretty simple for me. I look at the Ravens in stages and develop and layers. Obviously, the two locks anybody would have on their Mount Rushmore is Ray Lewis and Ed Reed. That's
Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
Oh,
Ray Lewis, Ed Reed, without question, etched in stone in the Mount Rushmore of the Ravens. Now, if you are a Ravens fan, Jonathan Ogden means a lot to this team, and he is worthy of being on the Mount Rushmore. Unfortunately, he's not on my Mount Rushmore. For me, while he was great, and no disrespect, if you're a Ravens fan, you're watching this, you're probably thinking, oh, this is blasphemous. Look, John Ogden was great, but we never won nothing with John Ogden as our left tackle. Other than that first Super Bowl, and we weren't a great offensive team. We weren't a super slump. It was great, but
didn't win nothing but the Super
you know what I mean? Like, it wasn't like our offense was
you
the reason why we won.
Bowls, though. Like,
it wasn't like the offense and him being such a great left tackle was the reason why we won the Super Bowl. That's not the case. The defense was the reason why. So that's what I meant by that. So defensively, you're going to be heavily leaned on, for Mount Rushmore. Look, before all these allegations and everything, JT definitely was on Mount Rushmore for the Ravens, man. He was definitely worthy of being on there, but he ain't on there no more. For me, and this is me, if you are talking about the Baltimore Ravens and why this team is what we are today, and you don't pay homage to 2011, 2012, Joe Flacco in those playoff runs, you're not paying attention. My man Joe was money. 12 touchdowns, no interceptions. Went straight through. Beat Tom, Peyton, lined him up. Andrew Luck. Everybody who was in his way knocked him down. And it wasn't because of the defense. The defense was old at that point. This was an offensive team. It was Joe to Anquan, Joe to Torrey Smith, Joe to Dennis Pitta. Like the man was money. Ray Rice, little dump offs here and there. Joe deserves to be on the Mount Rushmore of this team, in my opinion. And then, of course, number 4 is the greatest Raven right now that we got, and that's Lamar Jackson. So I go 2 defense, 2 offense. That's my list. Calvin, take it away.
Joe doesn't have that playoff run without Ray Rice running for 25 after he threw a 2-yard pass on 4th and 27. Okay. So if you're gonna put Flacco in there, you got to tie Ray Rice to him, in my opinion, because there is no playoff run if he doesn't throw the ball for 2 yards.
Are you putting Ray Rice on your Mount Rushmore?
If I got to put Flacco,
are you putting Ray Rice on your Mount Rushmore? You're not. So what are we talking about?
Who's your
my Mount Rushmores, they either go by name or letters. Ray, Ed, J.O., Lamar. That's it. I respect Flacco. He's top 6 or whatever. When he retires, his number deserves to go in the Hall of Fame. But I can't put you in the Hall of Fame. You won a Super Bowl off of 1 year. Because after that 1 year, post 2012, for the rest of your career, no. I'm not saying it wasn't great. I'm saying it's not Mount Rushmore worthy. When Joe retires, and I guess Joe don't want to be home with all them kids he got because they ain't retired yet. When he retires, he deserves to come back here. He deserves to have his number retired. He deserves to give his speech, and all of M&T Bank better be on their feet, giving him an applause and thanking him for 2012. But I'm not putting him on Mount Rushmore.
Say you're 4, and then I'll review my rebuttal. Go ahead.
All right. Certified killers. Ray Lewis. Certified knockout artist. Ray Rice. Justin Tucker. And Dante Stallworth. Those are my 4. Thank you.
Okay, what's your 4?
That was it. That was it. That's a hitman squad for real. If you want me to go a different route, in which I can.
No, do your list. This is your list.
Ray Lewis, obviously, Ed Reed, Jonathan Ogden, and Lamar Jackson. I agree with Calvin. Just a slide over J.O. like that. That's a lot, man. He did help put this franchise on the back himself, literally on his back. That left side was straight for a long time.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't. I was actually watching the games. J.O. was one of the most overrated left tackles. You know why he got all those accolades? Who was his contemporary? Who was supposed to get it over him? At the while, you just get it because, people know, etch his name into the Pro Bowl. Oh, J.O. J.O. had toe issues. J.O. had back issues. J.O. wasn't available all the time. And then he had a good year when Jamal ran for 2,000. I will never take that away from him. But a lot of that, if you go back, Jamal was cutting back to the middle. Jamal was cutting back to the right. Jamal will tell you Zeus was really the guy he ran behind a lot that year. I worked down in the stadium that year. J.O., it was good. He never protected for any quarterback that did anything.
Never had a damn quarterback.
All right, so what are we praising him for? That's my point.
I'm praising him for being the best offensive tackle in the league.
Added to
At
nothing.
That point, it was him and Orlando Pace. He took the reins from
Orlando Pace
and was the best offensive tackle for 7-8 years until he prematurely retired because of a toe injury.
We couldn't do anything with J.O. Great, but I'm not putting that over.
He never had a quarterback.
Joe Flacco.
How you gonna do something without a quarterback? You had Kyle Bowler. You had Trent Dilfer. You had Elvis Gerbach for 1 year. You had I was going to say the corpse of Steve McNair, but that's not appropriate. You had Steve McNair towards the end of his career.
Christ.
He had Steve McNair. They kept getting false start penalties. You don't remember that playoff game? Huh? You don't remember them false starts?
I remember scoring 15 points. I remember scoring 15 points against Peyton Manning when he was Peyton Manning.
Look. You don't y'all look at J.O. with rose-colored glasses. That's my issue. Yeah, he got the Pro Bowls because of name only. Pro Bowls can trick you.
He made Pro Bowls at name only with Orlando Pace dominating in the league. You can only
Orlando Pace was in the NFC.
Okay, there's only one person that can be first team All Pro, and if you're that guy, you are the best at your position year in and year out.
And why was he was named only?
Because of the
who had these
the
spectacular stats that really made J.O. like this guy? Anyway, I'm not here to beat down J.O. I know that come off that way, but you can't put him over Joe Flacco. And you talk like Joe only had one good year. Joe was good 2 years before the Super Bowl. Joe was good the year before the Super Bowl. Joe was good the Super Bowl year.
I said after the Super Bowl, Joe did nothing. That's what I said.
Yeah, the next year, we was back in the playoffs, and Torrey Smith should have caught that pass against New England.
2 years later.
Okay, so you said he did nothing.
He did nothing 2 years later.
That was in the divisional game in the playoffs.
He didn't do that, and then you talk about this 1 year. This 1 year in which you're talking about.
You can't act like
the team dump off on 4th and 27 with your season on the line.
The season was not on the line. That was week 12 against San Diego.
If they would have lost, they wouldn't make the playoffs.
Did they win?
My point is, if
it's week 12 in a 16-game
doesn't run for that first down when Joe threw to him on 4th and 27, he threw a 2-yard pass.
Did they lose another game?
Credit for that year?
4th and 27 in week 12, a game in a regular season. At the end of the day, they could have made the playoffs. Don't try to rewrite history. Don't try to rewrite history.
That was all Ray Rice and Anquan Bolden, who made Joe Flacco better.
In the playoffs?
Torrey Smith, Dennis Pitta, all those guys.
So let me ask you a question. The year before, when they went up to New England and should have beat them, and Lee Evans dropped the pass in the corner of the end zone, and Billy Cundiff misses the field goal, was that Joe's fault too? Did Joe not put them in position to go to back-to-back Super Bowls?
If Joe put the ball on Lee Evans,
he put it right on Lee Evans.
And he'll drop that shit.
See, you're being disrespectful and you're hating because you're not really a true student of this game and you don't follow the Ravens like I do. That's your problem. That's your problem. No, I watched the game. I don't just watch the film that they
offensive
give you on
tackle.
tape.
You
Go
are
study some
disrespecting
film.
offense. You're
Go study
disrespecting
some
J.O.
film. J.O. ain't that
Ain't
good.
no offensive film from there. It's just J.O. and Jamal Lewis. That's all the offense you got.
Jamal
And that's
Lewis
all the
left
offense
this
you needed
team
to win
far
playoff
before
games.
J.O. got his gold jacket. J.O. was living off reputation his last 5 years. Let's call it what it is. Let's
That's
call
half
it
his
what it is.
career. He's going to reputation his last half of his career. He only played 10 years.
J.O. Exactly. That's my
He
point.
was going to have reputation for 5 years.
Didn't I say when Steve McNair was here, J.O. was a shell of himself? Let's not act like he was
Steve
still
McNair
good.
was a show of himself.
But false start. That was the name.
A year before his last year, J.O. was All-Pro too. So
okay,
he
off a
All-Pro
name
second
only.
team. He's second best left tackle.
Who was on the Ravens
They don't
that
go.
year?
They don't go by. I can see Pro Bowl. I'll give you Pro Bowl, but they don't do name by All-Pro. All-Pro
Who's
is
his
you was
contemporary?
just like the best.
Who was his contemporary?
It don't matter. He was number 2.
Yeah, it did matter. It did matter. After a while, you was like, okay, it's nobody that good. What are we doing here? Like stop it. J.O.'s great. He ain't on nobody's Mount Rushmore. He a Ravens Ring of Famer, and he got a Hall of Fame jacket because when you put him at guy in that Pro Bowl that much, and you just etch him in like, oh yeah, J.O., we got you. He ain't no damn Mount Rushmore. The Ravens, get out of here. Amounted to nothing. Never had a impact on winning long term.
So offensive linemen don't have an impact on winning?
No, he didn't. I ain't talking about offensive line. I'm talking about him. Our Super Bowl year, we couldn't even score a touchdown. And Jamal,
and you're blaming J.O. You're not blaming the damn quarterback.
We had Priest Holmes and Jamal Lewis, and they couldn't run behind him. They couldn't run behind him. Call it what it is. Jamal tell you, I love to run to the right because J.O. wasn't on the block. J.O. liked to step back and live off reputation. Sorry. Anyway, that's Mount Rushmore for the Ravens. Let's move on. Fantasy football. So, Calvin, you were the commissioner of this thing. We had our fantasy football draft last week. You haven't entered the rosters yet, but I'm sure tell us your overview of how all the draft went down and your thoughts on your team. Start us off.
Getting over the disrespect to J.O.
He's better. He not more important than Joe Flacco.
Joe Flacco needs to tie to Ray Rice. So 4th and 27. I'm gonna throw a 2-yard dump.
Well, Ray Rice shouldn't have beat his wife, and we wouldn't be having this discussion, would we? Go ahead.
Oh, Jesus.
Since you love Ray Rice so much.
Well, according to Justin. According to Justin, Justin Tucker. I ain't gonna go there.
And Dante,
I don't even remember what your question was. You got me pissed off. What was your question?
Tell us about your fantasy football team. It's right on the screen.
Oh man, I'm only pissed off about my draft. This Rashee Rice news come out. I was banking on him playing the first 4 weeks. Now
we told you that in the beginning.
He's missing the first 6. Besides that, I got great value. I some of my contemporaries, I think, reached for a quarterback early. I understand Lamar and Josh Allen are the pinnacle fantasy quarterbacks, but I don't know if I can take them first round when it's so much when quarterback play is equivalent across the board for a number of quarterbacks. But overall, I have this triple threat at running back with Swift and Bijan and Chase Brown, who I think is going to be really underrated, especially catching passes out of the backfield. For Cincinnati, it's all powered offense. I like my team. I got a couple injured players as well. We're waiting for this first 3 or 4 weeks to right this ship injury wise. But I like my team at the last year's debacle.
Justin, were you happy with your team?
Yeah, I think I got a nice wide receiver roster, led by Drake London, DJ Moore, and Xavier Worthy. I think that's a good 3 receiver bunch right there. Shout out to Patrick Mahomes, my quarterback. I don't like I might try to upgrade my tight end position. We see how Dawson do with Josh Allen. People waiting on Dawson just as long as they was waiting on Kyle Pitts to take over. Oh, that's right. I got Kyle Pitts too. All right, we'll see how that works out. I love Ted McMillan. I think he's going to have a standout season in his first year. I love Trey Henderson. For the Patriots, I think he's going to take over Ramondre Stevenson's spot really, really quick, if not game 1. And I like my man Bill Murray. I think he's going to take over Austin Eckler's spot in Washington. So It's looking good. I like it. I like it coming out of everything.
Well, I would like to say, last year I kicked off our draft
last year.
by bringing
How
up
many
that
times how many
I
times
dominated our league last year and was screwed.
Did you win?
Because the commissioner set the
Did you
league
win?
up to have the playoffs the week where most people were resting, because he doesn't pay attention to these things. But that's how it was. Anyway,
The point of the playoffs was not to have anybody play week 18.
My team
or not to have matchups during week 18.
Team games matter now. My team rested Josh Allen, and they rested some of the key starters. They did, and wasn't really planned for anything. So unfortunately, I did get clipped in the playoffs. Unfortunately, and then I went down, even though I had the best record, scored the most points, and was overall the better team. So this year I came back and I drafted Josh Allen as my quarterback in the second round, not the first round. I didn't reach into the first round. I also was able to go out there and grab a CeeDee Lamb, who is a Dallas Cowboy, who I think will have a lot to prove this year, getting catches from Dak Prescott. We'll see how that works out for me. DK Metcalf, new to Pittsburgh. I think that Aaron Rodgers will be able to get him involved, and I think he'll be there with a chip on his shoulder. So from a receiving perspective and the way this league is set up, I think I'll be able to gather a lot of points in that way. With Josh Allen being able to run, he likes to score a lot of touchdowns on the ground. I'm looking forward to that. James Conner, I'm looking for him to have a good year in Arizona with James Cook, who scored, 13 touchdowns last year for Buffalo. So I was able to get the quarterback and the running back. So one way or another, I'm going to get touchdowns out of those two. Brock Bowers was my keeper. I drafted him last year and was able to retain him. I think that was a strength. He was the number one overall rated tight end in this draft, and I was able to keep him. So that was good. I'm very happy with my lineup, to be honest with you. One of the steals of the draft, I feel, was Breece Hall. Someone told me that Breece would be MVP and would lead the team to a Super Bowl run last year. And I think that was a year a bit premature. I think this year he's primed and ready, especially with the quarterback situation they had there in the Jets. I think they will rightfully so feed the football to Breece Hall, and I think he will be the breakout star of my team. I'm very happy with Devontae Smith and what he's consistently had his hookup with Jalen Hurts. A lot of times A.J. Brown gets the defense rolled to him, so Devontae Smith is able to get open on the other side. I'm very happy with that Houston defense. I think they're going to be great this year in a weak division. I was able to get them as one of the earlier defenses taken off the board. Brandon Aubrey, the kicker for the Dallas Cowboys, I think that team's going to put up a lot of points. And when they do have to settle for long field goals, I think he's money. So overall, I'm just very happy with my team. Another good steal was a Tampa Bay Buccaneer that Justin had highlighted earlier as one of his breakout stars at wide receiver that his team was able to pick up. And Emeka Egbuka, who they were able to add to that wide receiver room, not knowing the status of Chris Godwin. I'm very happy with that. Overall, Matthew Stafford is my backup. I'm running for another prime. I won a title 2 years ago. I should have won last year. I'm getting it home this year again. I'm back, baby. I'm not the commissioner no more. I'm able to concentrate. I'm able to focus. And ever since, I've seen nothing but success. And I'm ready for greatness in 2025. And if y'all have any more thoughts, go ahead, Justin.
One of my key defensive guys is Alex Singleton, and I think he's going to have a great season this upcoming year. So I'm glad I thought about him all to myself, and I'm glad I drafted him. So shout out to Alex Singleton.
Okay, it's good inside baseball move. Calvin, any more tidbits from your draft that you think will put your team over the top?
I think I'm very strong in the tight end position. I got Trey McBride. I think he's ranked consistently within the top two, probably 1-2 with Brock Bowers. Also drafted Isaiah Likely, who I think will be one of the steals of the draft once he comes back. In addition to Brandon Ayuk, once he comes back, I think he'll be a steal. Don't really have that many weapons that are trustworthy yet in San Francisco. I'm not too excited about my defense, but defense, you just pick them up and drop them as it appears. Defensive players, I'm sorry. just
Mhm.
pick them up and drop them, kind of as you go along. But there's still some value out there because I just know of a couple quarterbacks, one in particular, perennial MVP candidate that has not been picked up or was not drafted as of yet. So still a ton of value out there, but it'll be interesting. Hopefully, I play Kyle week 8. I'm gonna make that happen.
He's going to be
So,
back. Yeah. Also, I want to allude to my backup running backs. And I might be in the trade market. I don't know because we'll see. Keaton Mitchell, I think he's going to get a lot more playing time that he currently represents as the third running back on the roster. And then I got J.K. Dobbins. I want to see what he looks like this year. We know he started fast last year for San Diego, for the Chargers, L.A. I want to see what he does coming off that injury. Just as a backup, I think I'm loaded, man. I think I'm not only am my team built for early in the season, I made sure I layered it so that they are on teams that's going to be have something to play for late in the year. That was my one weakness, and that's what stumbled me last year. My teams were so good, they were resting. So that was a problem. Any other thoughts?
Shout out to you, Travis Hunter, in which I drafted.
That was a good
He's going
pickup.
to be exclusively on defense. He will not touch my offensive side unless needed. So I will get all those points both ways. So shout out to Travis Hunter for being a double-edged sword. Just stay healthy. My team is just stay healthy. I do have Devon Achane and CMC. So if they just stay healthy, we should be okay.
Yeah. The Christian McCaffrey could be high value later. You know what I mean? If he does what he's supposed to do. Good stuff. Let's move on. This weekend starts the college football season. Man, and they laid out all the bowl games. The schedule's set, man. We are ready. Championship game is going to be in Miami this year. But we starting off as we have been doing the last couple years with a bang. College football is back. Calvin, are you ready for the weekend? What's your thoughts?
Man, the highlight of the weekend, Ohio State, Texas, 1 versus 3. We get to see the potential Heisman campaign of Arch Manning, was assumed to be a perennial number 1 overall draft pick in next year's draft. I'm excited for that expanded playoffs. So we'll get more teams in the playoffs. We'll get more upsets. You'll get more, not power with Power 4, Power 5 division teams as well. So excited about that. But this literally starts football. Labor Day weekend, college football. You normally see like a Florida State on Monday. You'll potentially see a Notre Dame. You have a Penn State playing this weekend as well. So it's a ton of football, a ton of great matchups. But like I said, the number 1 matchup, Ohio State, Texas. If you can watch that matchup, this is 1 versus 3. Now, a loss doesn't mean you're not going to make the college football playoff, because like I said, they're taking 16 teams. You still have the chance to win their respective conferences as well. But this is a matchup that you want to see, because this has the potential to be a matchup that you'll see again in the college football playoff.
Yeah, it's very interesting how they did the schedule. But the last few years they've been doing this where you get those huge matchups right up the gate, and you can recover from a loss. You know what I mean? If you're a team that has championship aspirations, you lose week 1. By later in the season, that's a blip in the schedule.
To a good team,
Yeah, to a really good team. You got 1-3, Texas, Ohio State. Then you come back on Saturday night. You got LSU and Clemson with a big game. That's going to be a marquee game on Saturday night. And then you got that Sunday night game, which is always going to be interesting. Notre Dame and Miami. Miami losing Cam Ward. See how they bounce back. Without him, it's going to be interesting. Those are the 3 biggest matchups. I'll be in Annapolis. Navy's opening game this weekend at 12 o'clock. I know that's the same time as the Texas game, so I won't be able to watch it live. But
I don't understand why it's not Saturday night. But
well, I think that was one of the big things. And as I work for Navy, a lot of the issues they've been having the last couple of years, too many games have been scheduled for the night. They missed that college game day 12 o'clock atmosphere, some of these big games, because the networks are saying that ESPN or, those certain networks only get those night games, and we missing out on some of those prime games. So that's part of the TV package to get some of those big time games for the big noon game on Fox or the big, game on ABC. And they want, people love waking up to football on the West Coast, especially 9 o'clock in the morning. They want to see a big game. That's just, it's been missing here. And the college aspect of tailgating early in the morning. People love that. You know what I mean? You get up, tailgate, go see the game. Justin, your thoughts on the schedule and everything coming up with the college football season?
Well, I'm a huge Miami fan, and which is why I got Cam Ward dead in my heart parts, and hoping that he have a great rookie campaign because he really took Miami, which was kind of trash before he got there. He was only there for a year, and pretty much putting them back on the map. He couldn't necessarily get us to the promise. He couldn't get us to the playoff, but he damn sure gave a hell of an effort to do so. So I'm looking to see what happens next. So yes, did they play who they played? Notre Dame.
They played
Notre
So
Dame.
Sunday night,
see how that
Monday
see how
night.
that goes Sunday
night.
Sunday night, the 31st. Yeah,
Mhm.
so we're gonna see how that rock out. And yeah, so just to see the incumbents, the Mannings of the world, just see how he does for Texas in his debut and such, right? So we just want to see football, man. It's college football at its finest. It's pro style college football because we got free agents all across the board with the portal and everybody signing the NIL deals and everything. So it's a frenzy right now, and we're going to see who kind of navigates the water. And just a side note, Dion, we still looking at you, homeboy. We still looking at Colorado. See how y'all doing. This is without Travis Hunter. This is without Shedeur Sanders. So you are without your two cornerstones. We're gonna see how good you can coach now. Like
All recruiting and nil money.
Yeah, we gonna see. So yeah, I'm definitely interested in that aspect as well too.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. College football, man, is always fun, especially if you're a sports bettor. It's always good to get your parlays in. So if you're thinking about it, I got some tidbits. DM me for your tickets for Saturday morning. Make sure you get them in. You know what I mean? You can win some money on college. The lines are long, but you can do it if you bet smart. That's all I'll say. Let's keep it moving. All right. Orioles made a big move this week. We spent some money. What's your thoughts? Went out there after we just saw the wholesale. Got rid of some of those older contracts and those guys that potentially wouldn't be re-signing, but they were able to retain someone, put some money towards it. Tell me about it, Justin. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, they signed Sam Basillo for like 8 years, like 80-something million or something, something low. When it comes to baseball. It is kind of disrespectful, but I was talking to King about this. Like, he signed it. At the end of the day, it don't matter what's offered to you. You have agents there for a reason. He signed it, and he came off very well. So far. So we got him being a catcher, or if he's playing DH, he's playing DH, and then we drafted a catcher that can play the outfield. Long story short, Adley Rutschman. Thank you for your service. Your time is done. He's probably going to be on the trade market for sure this upcoming off season, and to get him out. You don't sign an 8-year guy that plays catcher and then draft another guy that also plays catcher to keep your starting catcher. And we still got Colton Cowser too that can play catcher. So yeah, the writing's on the wall. What do you do?
He played center field.
Who else played catcher then?
They got the backup is Jackson. He on injury list. They have like 4 catches.
Okay, bet. So either way, the writing's on the wall when it comes to him being outskated. So the thing about Adley Rutschman is he's a locker room guy, and I think they perform very well when he's actually on, when he's playing well. I think the locker room looks up to him in a sense, although he's all but some odd years old. I think they perform well with him, but at the end of the day, if we got rid of Cedric Mullins, if we got rid of the people that we got rid of, they're trying to, I guess, change a corner, and he got to go. So sorry, Adley. I know you came in the same year with Gunnar. You was that dude, but you have been performing like that, so you got to go.
Okay.
Look, I think this just signifies that they are trying to win and they're trying to keep their young players. This is not a knock against Jackson or Gunnar because they're not signing an extension because they know that they're going to make $200, $300, $400, probably $500 million, and Scott Boras won't allow that. So this is all about representation and knowing their worth. And then once they hit arbitration, they're going to be making this $20, $30 million. But they're not doing that. But it's easier to sign international players, these long-term deals. Basayo was an international player, someone originally drafted by the Yankees, and then they had to spend their money. I think they had to spend it on the pitcher that got hurt. I forgot, I'm blanking on his name right now, but and that's how he ended up coming to. I'm sorry.
Batista?
No, the pitcher that got hurt. The Yankees pitcher that got hurt.
Okay,
They
good.
had Tommy John surgery. Then that's how they end up getting Basayo a couple years ago. I don't think this means anything for Rushman, in my opinion. Rushman will most likely, in my opinion, be here. Basayo has been playing catcher and first base. Mayo plays first base. So ideally, you have your catcher, first baseman, DH combo for the foreseeable future. I don't see you getting rid of Alley, especially when you unless you get an offer you can't refuse, which means someone's going to pay you 150, 200 cents on the dollar, especially when you have him under team control for the next 3-4 years. It doesn't make sense. You have these young pieces. Let's build around them. Let's see who's actually going to be here for the long term. Alley's not going to catch every game. Basayo's not going to catch nearly as much. And Kobe Mayo's still making transitions from third to first. So if you're looking for major league pitching, you trade Rushman. If you can't sign major league pitching, and you can only acquire by trading, then you trade Rushman. But I don't think that happens this offseason. Now, I'm not saying it doesn't happen after next season or something at some point, but at least next year, I think you see Adley, because basically you have your infield set. You got Westberg, Gunnar, Jackson, Mayo, and Adley and Basayo. Those are your infields and your DH. You got to figure out who's going to be on the corners with Cowser in the middle. Ideally, you want Kerstead up here. He can't stay healthy. You sign O'Neill for 2 more years. Hopefully, he opts out. I don't think it'll happen. But I think you have your infield set. So I don't see you getting rid of Rushman. I just think you have this rotation as to where Rushman doesn't have to catch every day. Basayo can catch a couple times a week because they're trying to transition him from being a catcher. And you have Mayo playing first base DH, and hopefully that bat warms up. So you've got these young bats, these young players. So I think you're set for next year. It's just a matter of can you build upon that, and will you pony up the money to sign Gunnar at some point? Will you write this full $500 million check in order to keep Gunnar in 2 or 3 years? That's the key. That's going to let me know that you're really serious about spending money. Giving Basayo $100 million is a nice start, but you got to finish it by saying we're serious about keeping Gunnar. And all reports are from Scott Boras that they are serious about keeping him. They've made offers, but he's not going to let him sign something that's below his market value, which is respectable. So I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt with this portion. You still got to figure out the pitching, but hitting wise and youth wise, you're on the way.
Okay, we'll continue to monitor it. Very interesting discussion. We'll continue to watch it as the season rolls on. This Sunday, WWE will have their final pay-per-view on Peacock. That's right. The Peacock deal is coming to an end for pay-per-views. They will continue on their NXT specials, and the library will be on there through the end of 2025, possibly moving to ESPN after that. But the main event of the Clash in Paris, it will be in France at 2:00 on Sunday afternoon. That's right, Sunday, not Saturday. It will be CM Punk, and Jey Uso challenging Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight Championship, LA Knight. In a 4-way match, they set this up last few weeks with some parody booking of sort. The 3 other guys not getting along. All babyfaces. Jey Uso stood tall in Raw this past week. Going into it, it looks like the favorite, of course, is Seth to retain. You very rarely see a title change hands in a 4-way match like this. This is typically some kind of way to save Punk from taking a pin, save Jay from taking a pin. Most likely, LA Knight will get pinned in this match, and Seth will continue. You know that the Bronze will probably get involved in some manner. Calvin, what's your thoughts? What's your prediction?
Seth retains. I've been thinking like who takes the pin in this, and I'm undecided. I can see this. I thought this heat was coming back on Jey Uso somewhat because originally it wasn't supposed to be a fatal 4-way. Is that correct? It was originally supposed to. Okay, I originally read it was supposed to be a triple threat, and they kind of added as a fatal 4-way. I don't see LA Knight taking the fall. I think that's just too easy. Of course, I think Seth retains. I think we get a couple of interference, or we get some interference some kind of way. I'm trying to figure out how can we make this match more interesting than just having Seth retain and having these 3, everyone that's factoring into this match having some sort of disagreement, and I don't see the exciting nature of the match yet to get Seth to retain, in my opinion.
I think the only way is to set up something maybe for Roman. I don't know. Justin, your thoughts?
Is Roman supposed to be there?
Yeah, he in a match.
In a match, he plays.
Yeah.
He played.
Fighting.
Big Bronson Reed.
Yeah.
But it's fatal 4-way. I was looking at it's. Yeah, I definitely got LA. I mean, LA Knight just got pinned by Braun Breaker, so it's not like out in this world that he can't get pinned. So that'd be easy. I hope Jay doesn't take defeat, but it could. I'm interested in that little pep talk that he had with Roman. I don't know how far that goes. I hope there's no tomfoolery going on and he just kind of does his part. I don't want him flipping sides or doing anything crazy like that. I just hope that he just stays where he's at. And CM Punk. So it should be an entertaining match. We'll see how much Braun Breaker doesn't even have a match in Clash in Perth. So
this will be his match.
Expect to see him, a lot of him pause throughout this particular match. So we'll see how that goes. But it's clear it's too early for Seth to lose it.
If you've been really paying attention, especially on Raw the other night, they kind of have been really hinting at Braun is getting sick and tired of Seth. And I think that turn is coming.
Did you see that segue after?
It's
that look after? It was real quick. He did look over to Paul Heyman, and Paul Heyman looked over to him. That was nice. It was like
I know it's too, but you want to drop hints. You want to drop hints, and you don't want the turn just to come out of nowhere. It has to be things where he gets irritated. I wouldn't be shocked if he turns on him in Survivor Series at War Games or something like that. I wouldn't be shocked. That's not that far away.
That's the perfect place. It's still 2 months away, roughly.
Yeah, I mean 2 months is 2 months. Okay. You know what I mean?
I agree. I agree with that portion.
You drop the crumbs. You got to do that. Logan Paul takes on John Cena. Cena's one of his final dates. This will be his final match. I can't even say that. It won't be his final match on Peacock because his final match will be on Peacock in December. So if you didn't know, they signed the deal where all Saturday Night Main events will be exclusively on Peacock, and John Cena's final match will be December 13th, live on Peacock. And a lot of people say, "Oh, it's not going to be seen by as many people." Well, folks, if you've really been paying attention, all pay-per-views have been on Peacock for the past 5 years. So, I mean, it's the same audience you get for WrestleMania. I mean, it is what it is. If people want to watch it, they're going to tune in. That's just Peacock's being smart about it. Like, if you're not going to just drop our service. You're going to keep us for at least one more month if that's what you want to see. Also, the rumors are that for this big WrestlePalooza show on September 13th, September 20th, they are really building this thing up for the first ESPN show. It's going to be Cena and Brock. I mean, Cody versus Drew McIntyre. Possibly you'll crown a new women's champion, Io Sky possibly, and Stephanie Vaquera, or maybe Rhea Ripley. We haven't gotten a conclusion on what that will be. And they got some other big matches planned. Might be Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns. I don't know. I haven't heard exactly yet, but they planning on something big. ESPN really wants a big card for that show. But this is just a stopgap. Cena, Logan Paul should be entertaining for what it is. Justin, your thoughts?
It should be entertaining for what it is. That's about it. What we got here? Logan, he'll try to do something that make you remember it the next night. So I will give him that. Like, he'll try to do some flip or something like that. But it's Cena's show. So
stopgap. Unless
Brock comes out. And that's the only caveat that we have here. And it's Paris, it's France, so it's they on tour in a sense. So it's not outside the window that Brock can show up again, but instead of after the match, he shows up during the match. He could just show his face, and that's enough for Logan Paul to get his victory over John Cena in a simple roll up, and that might be it. So let's say that. Let's make this entertaining. Let's say that happens.
Who do y'all think Cena's final opponent is going to be? If you had to pick right now, given the fact that he's wrestling Brock in September, who's the final opponent for Roman on December 13th? If you had your pick, he's already faced a lot of people. So let's assume it's a new name, a name he hasn't faced already this year. Who would you give him? Is it Roman? Who is it? Who's the final opponent? Calvin, you first.
I don't think it's Roman. Like if you told me if Seth hadn't won the title, I would have said it was going to be Seth. But I don't see him having a title match as his last fight. So I don't know. I don't know right now. I've thought about this. There's nothing that makes sense. I think the best guess I had was someone that's not currently on the roster. But that's it.
What you think, Justin?
Man, I know it's not going to happen. He is not on the roster, and he is a Hall of Famer, and I don't think he wrestles anymore. But when I look at him, he look like he's always in shape. Shout out to Kurt Angle, man. The person that made him
ruthless aggression. Ruthless aggression.
All that into it will be the one to take him out of it. So that's a fan cast for me.
Well, here's my thought, and I thought about this a while, and I'm thinking, okay, it's Peacock, all right? It's not ESPN. If this was on ESPN, I truly think The Rock would come back for one match with Cena. Just that they're linked. He will
lose. So he will put him like I don't see that.
That's what I'm saying. I think Rock would beat him. I think typically when people have their last match, they lose. Like Ric Flair lost, Shawn Michaels lost, like Undertaker lost. Typically, when you go out, you lose. You do the honors. Goldberg lost. Like you do the honors. That's kind of like how wrestling is. But I think you would want to put somebody young over though. Like so, for me, it's just hard for me not to see Rock and Cena because they main evented 2 Manias. They are interlinked one way or another, and they have not interacted since John Cena turned heel to join The Rock earlier this year. You can tell a story there. You can tell a story.
You know, the hard part of figuring this out is each of his matches will have no direct link to the storyline. It will just be this match,
standalone.
This match. So it's not real like you can just say I can see it building towards this. It's just I don't know.
But if you do Rock, it do. Remember,
we know what
Rock.
But I mean, who else? He has what 6 matches left, including Clash at Paris. Who are those 6 opponents? We know it's Logan Paul. We know
I don't think
Brock.
he has 6 matches. I think he has 6 appearances.
Okay, so that's it. Okay, never mind.
6 dates.
Okay,
so that could be one.
But this is an appearance. This is an appearance just coming out and saying bye to the fans. Like what's the point?
And they could always add more dates. Remember, this is December 13th. He might not be on War Games. He might just.
I think he's got to be at War Games.
You think so?
I think it makes it easier when it's not one-on-one, in my opinion.
I don't know. I don't really think so, but we'll see. Anyway, just a food for thought. We'll continue to look at that. We got time until December, but it's just interesting. Who do you put Cena in the match with for his final match?
Third.
So let me ask you: if there were no, if AEW's roster was open and you can include anyone from there as well,
Edge,
does that change your opinion? Okay, yeah.
Edge would be on the list.
I googled his contract. I googled while we was talking. I said, "What is?"
Well, really, if you want to know whose contract is up,
2006,
it's Chris Jericho.
I thought that was the end of the year, though.
If it was up early enough, he could get there, and they do have history. They have history. I was there in DC for that match at SummerSlam. Yeah, they got history. Edge has history. Randy Orton, he already faced Orton. These are some of his best. Batista, we haven't seen Batista in a while.
Batista
don't
Batista
look
anymore.
like Batista no more. So
that's not gonna happen.
I would say The Rock to me is the answer. And
The Rock is the one that you can just drop like on a Monday night out of nowhere, and then it's already on.
It's the biggest thing going. They can do.
Roman Reigns. I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Roman Reigns and Bronson Reed, they did a hell of a job building this up on Monday with the brawl and all that. I think they've really been doing a good job getting Bronson Reed over. Wow. And I've been impressed by him. I think Roman will win this match for sure, but it would be nice if Braun Breaker somehow helped Bronson get this win. I wouldn't mind it. I'm not saying Roman should lose, but he don't need to win every match. You know what I mean? Calvin, thoughts?
He doesn't, especially if he's going away to film Street Fighter.
Yeah,
You can write him off. You can write him off this way by getting his ass beat. So, but in an effort to continue to build Bronson Reed, he doesn't need to win either. So I agree with you, and I do think Bronson Reed wins. I think we're starting to that process of writing off Roman so we can film this movie and then come back in time for War Games.
That could be true, but once I saw Roman do overtime on Raw, like because he came in and then showed up like towards the end and whatever, like towards I said, oh
yeah,
he's not gonna. So he about to leave. He don't do overtime. He does one segment, he'd be out. So
he was working extra hard. Yeah, he gave him a full show. You know why? Because they was in England. He couldn't leave. Where you gonna go? Back to the hotel? You know what I mean? Like, and it was a daytime show. He wasn't there late at night. They got the full Roman experience over there in England. You only get to see him once a year. All right, Nikki Bella will take on Becky Lynch for the Intercontinental title. They had a pretty interesting interview segment the other night, and this girl Becky, man, I don't know. I think she got herself into a little hot water.
No, she's just being a great heel. Call it what it is. She ain't said nothing bad. She didn't say nothing negative about Ozzy Osbourne. She said he had enough sense to leave this dump because that's what heels do. They talk about the town they in. That's it.
That's not what happened. All right. So the real story is the show was taped. The show aired live originally at 3:00 in the afternoon. They edited the promo when you saw
the edited part.
Yes, you saw the edited part.
So what she say? Oh, okay. I didn't know what she said.
She said, "If I was Ozzy, I'd have died too." Like she name dropped him and says, "I could send you the clip." I thought it was when I saw the original. Like y'all, I was like,
she said, "If I lived here, I'd have died." Like something.
Like she made it like he was the only good thing that came out of here, and he moved to L.A. But then she came back with enough. They cut that. They cut that line. I mean, it was a bit over the top. I think it overstayed its welcome. Had she just kept that, I'm gonna send y'all the clip so y'all can see it, and y'all gonna better understand why it was like most people was like, yeah, that was unnecessary. And WWE even apologized. They was like, yeah, because I guess the fans didn't react the way she thought they was going to at the original line, so she just kept going. And she said he was like, she kind of like, yeah. Because I was all going back and forth with somebody like I didn't think it was that big a deal. Then somebody else posted the original one. I was like, oh, okay. Okay. All right. Oh, she might was just pissed on his grave too while she was at it. But yeah, who's winning this? I think Becky's winning. Y'all think, or does Nikki win to keep this thing going?
I think Becky wins.
Okay. All right. Very simple.
Yeah, Becky 100%.
Yeah.
All right. And then finally,
who's after Becky? I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see. Then finally, you got Sheamus and Rusev in a Donnybrook brawl or something like that. You know, they set up like a pub or whatever. Just basically a street fight. This is the final match between these two. They are hard hitting and pretty tough guys, so should be just a regular match that hopefully they give them time and let those guys go at it because they are pretty stiff. So that's it for that. Before we get out of here, Calvin, I know you want to talk a little bit about upcoming event that's happening locally, and we're going to have these gentlemen from this local football team on to talk about this coming up. Tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, so we're going to have Xavier Stukes, owner of the Baltimore Rams, and maybe Jerome Jones, a friend of the program, defensive coordinator. They're going to talk about the upcoming trip to South Africa. Next, I believe it's January of next year. So they are want to get the word out, try to solicit some funds to help the guys get over there. But they are going to talk about their trip, the upcoming games. So we're going to have that for you in a couple of weeks as we talk about all football, NFL and local as well. So we're going to have those guys on join the program. I think we said 2 weeks.
Yeah,
so the 10th, I think that's the 10th. So we're going to have them on here, kind of get to know what they do, what the Baltimore Rams are, where they play, get you all the information, kind of spread the word about what's going on locally in the area.
Definitely. You know, Tim Jerome Jones, Tim, our friend. He's been coaching for a long time.
Wait, you were coaching at one point, so
yeah, I was coaching with him, man. I got in there, and Tim had me. I was, but Tim still doing it, man. I ain't got that time, but this guy's committed, and I know them Rams. Tim Curry around that championship ring, like that thing is gold. You know what I mean? And,
let me tell you something.
He mean business, dog.
He comes to the barbershop, and then if he's get to talk about his football team, you want to see a black man blush a little bit? That boy get a smile on his face, and he in heaven right there. So shout out to Tim, man.
Yeah, Tim mean business, and it's a big honor for them. They're the only team in the state to go over and play another team in South Africa. And again, it's semi-pro football. This is not professional. These guys are doing it for the love of the game. They're not getting paid. So if we can help them out and just donate, help them guys with their transportation to get over there overseas to South Africa. A lot of us, that's one of our dreams, to go to Africa, one day, and for them to be able to go over there and play. Yeah, not South Africa, but hey, it's part of the continent, and they're gonna play a team from over there, and that's good for them and good exposure. But we want to make sure that we do what we can to shine some light, and we'll have them on, like Calvin said, in a couple weeks, tell you more about it and spread the word. I know they have a GoFundMe if you like to donate. Look for Jerome Jones's Facebook page. I know he shared it. Friend of all three of our friend lists. So look for that. And again, they'll be on in a couple weeks to talk more about that in a couple weeks. So we appreciate you all. And again, we love supporting local and love supporting things that are happening. Speaking of, I was on Facebook and I saw that B.A. the Barber, our resident barber here, his barbershop was featured on the news a couple weeks ago. Very interesting. He didn't tell us about it, but Justin, tell us a little bit about that. That feature was that was great, man. I really thought that was sensational. Learning more about the origin story and how the academy for cutting and all that kind of stuff. That was nice, man.
He has my master barber. He has a boot camp and that he does, in which I went through myself. Almost everybody on the roster right now went through the same type of program, and all he does is try to help the community get back to the community, so on and so forth. So he does little events every now and then, give out free cuts, stuff like that, especially with his barbering class. And he just does his part, man. So shout out to Jabari on that. I ain't gonna say this in person, so hopefully he sees the playback on this, because I'll never say it to his face. It's just a little work rivalry that we have, so it's all love. So he does what he can, man. Shout out to Jabari on that.
Good stuff. And like I said, if we can ever support and come to any of the events, keep us in the loop, and we'll be sure to promote it here on the program.
We'll find out after the fact. We don't find out stuff.
I'm gonna put it out there early. Do y'all want to perhaps do a pickleball sit-in? So they have a pickleball event, and we can either record or I'm just throwing it out there because he brought it to me, and I said hell no. So I was like, I can't speak for my brothers, so I said the least I can do is bring it up to them, and hopefully we all three of us say no. So
let's talk about it offline. Get some more details.
About it offline. There we
go. And we can make a determination, because
my answer already.
My hotel has a pickleball court on the roof. So if they're looking for a place to play pickleball overlooking the city, man.
If we go on broadcast live from the roof, can we at least do it when the weather is nice?
Of course. Okay. I mean, it's nice now.
This might be what is Tupac movie? I don't want above the rim. I don't want
Anyway, we'll talk about it. That'll be interesting. But thanks for tuning in tonight, folks. This was a great show. But hey, this is it, folks. This is it. We just counted down all 32 NFL teams. Next week is the prediction show.
That's it.
We will line them up. We'll knock them down. There's only one thing to talk about next week. Next week's show will be special. Mark your calendar. Next week's show will be on Tuesday night, not Wednesday. The season starts on Thursday. So we want you to have enough time to look at what we're predicting. Get your bets in. Get your final predictions for the season.
My year-long bets.
So
next week.
Tuesday night,
Next
then
week.
you'll have all day Wednesday. Set your fantasy football lineups. Set all your stuff up. Get all your parlays ready for the weekend. But everything is put your whole, put your futures in for the Super Bowl. Who you got winning each division? Because we're gonna lay it out next week. Now, if you want a little reminder of what happened last year, here's what we did last year. Now, some of us were more right than others. Some of us were more wrong than others, but we all had an opinion. That's all that really matters. So next week, we're going to have a similar graphic, and we're going to put it in live on the air. Who's going to win the AFC East? Who's going to North? Who's going to win the South West? We're going to do that for each division. And we've already previewed each team individually, and we all have commented. Now we're going to give you our official predictions and lock them in. So next week's show, Tuesday night, will be solely about the NFL. And then we're in the heat of it each and every week. We'll go through the lineups. We'll go through our matchups, predictions for each game, head-to-head, bet it. I mean, we taking who our picks are, and we'll keep a track of it each and every week right here on Get Off the Damn Fitz. Calvin, any final thoughts?
Man, football season's here. I'm ready for it. I'm ready for a prediction show. I'm ready to get these bets back in, year-long bets. I got a couple of them ready for you, so hopefully let's make some money this year. I'm excited. It's that time of year. Look, I'm a summer baby. I love the summer, but when it starts getting cool, that means football is back.
Fresh air start.
Time to go spend some time at the bank.
Football.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Justin?
2 quick things. First thing, since we did Mount Rushmores and all that, we did an extensive for every single team. It's only right eventually. I'm not saying it has to be next week, but we're going to have to give our own top NFL team, just flat out. NFL team, all positions, who's on that particular list. So that's
we can do it week by week. We can do position by position.
Way to extend that pause. I like that. And secondly, here we go. Top 5, man. You got to see Baker Mayfield, man. Top 5, shake and bake to the extreme. It starts game 1, baby. Let's go.
You just had to ruin it. You just had.
That was greatness.
Anyway, enjoy college football this weekend. Enjoy Clash at the Castle, and we'll be back on Tuesday. Mark your calendars. Tuesday night. Get Off the Damn Fence with a special NFL preview show, getting you ready for the season, which starts on Thursday. We'll be back on Tuesday night for another edition. Get Off the Damn Fence. Thanks for tuning in, folks. Have a good night.